All right, let's take a look at question 7. In question 7, we're going to be assessed on how to carry out operations and simplification of radicals into rationals. Question 7 reads, which results in a rational number? The square root of 2 times the square root of 18, 5 times the square root of 5, square root of 2 plus the square root of 2, 3 root 2 plus 2 root 3. So we need to remember what rational numbers are. In order to do well on the Regents exam, you need to know what your rational numbers are. Okay? So all these involve radicals. So let's focus on how to identify a rational when it's presented in radical form. So recall, you need to remember that rational numbers do not have radicals. Do not have radicals in their simplest form, in their simplified form. Okay, so if you simplify a radical completely and there are no radicals present, then that radical is a rational. For example, the square root of 9. Okay, this is a radical. If you simplify the square root of 9, you get 3. Since the radical is gone, that means that this is a rational number. Alrighty. Uh, for example, let's consider another example. Root 7, for instance, in its simplest form, root 7 is just root 7. So this is irrational. Alright, so hopefully you see the difference. Okay, so we're going to simplify all these alternatives that we have. As soon as we hit one that does not have a radical in its simplified state, then we know that that's the correct answer. Question 1, option 1, root 2 times root 18. So the formula for this one, let's just put some formulas here for simplifying radicals. You can always multiply radicals. There are no constraints there. So let's say you have root x times root y. All you do here is you multiply the radicands, all right, root xy. Applying that formula here, root 2 times root 18 is simply going to be the square root of 36. And we know that this is a perfect square. Okay, so think about it. One number multiplied by itself is 36. It's 6, right? So this is rational. Why? Because the square root is gone in its simplest form. Bam. Ladies and gentlemen, the answer to question 7 is option 1. Alrighty? Alright, let's take a look at the others. Number 2. What is 5 multiplied by the square root of 5? 5 multiplied by the square root of 5 is simply 5 root 5. And this is irrational because you still have a square root in the simplified state. Question number 3. What is the square root of 2 plus the square root of 2? Now let's go back to another formula in simplifying radicals. If you are adding two radicals with identical radicands, it is possible to combine them. All you do is you add the coefficients. Alrighty, so like in this case, let's say you have root x plus root x. There's an imaginary 1 here in front, that's a coefficient if it's not specified, and there is if it's not imaginary, it's invisible. Alright, because it's the multiplicative identity, so that's why it's invisible there. All right, when you add these two together, guess what it becomes? This becomes 2 root x. Okay, so do not add the radicands when you're adding radicals. You add the coefficients. Alrighty. So root 2 plus root 2, following this pattern here, we know that we have the coefficients. The invisible coefficients we know are 1. So let's reveal their identities. When you add these two, what happens? When you combine these two, first of all, are they combinable? The answer is yes. Why? Because the radicands are identical. But that's not what you're going to add. Okay? The radicands help you to determine if you can combine them or not. And then after you determine that it can be combined, you just combine the coefficients. Alright, so we're going to add 1 and 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, so this is 2 root 2 Root 2 cannot be simplified. This has a radical in its simplified form, hence this is an irrational number. Okay, so we see why these are not the answers. Option 4. What is 3 root 2 plus 2 root 3? Now let's look at this closely. Can we combine these two? The answer is no. Why not? Because the radicands are different. Remember, the radicands must be the same in order for you to combine them. Very important. So in this particular case, the radicands are different. Can we combine? Absolutely not. So the answer is simply what we started with, 3 root 2 plus 2 root 3. Since this number has radicals in its simplified form, it is irrational, hence it is not the answer that we desire. Alright, so we can clearly see that the answer to question number 7 is option number 1. Alright, now question for you to think about. In option 3, we added we added two irrational numbers, okay? We added two irrational numbers and we ended up with an irrational number. So the question is that always the case? Whenever you add two irrational numbers, do you always end up with an irrational number? Let us know what your answer is. Just post your answer in the comment section below and we'd like to see what it is. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this presentation. As indicated earlier, we would like to know what you think. If you found the contents of this tutorial helpful in your preparation for the upcoming Regents exam, do give us a thumbs up. Your positive feedback is very important to us. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We update our page with math videos almost every single day. So subscribe so you can get updates to the uploads that we've made. If you have any questions, comments, or special requests for presentations you'd like us to work on, just post it in the comment section below. A lot of support resources can be found on our website, mathgotserved.com. Do check it out. Thanks again for watching and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.